Welcome to Court TV on Crestview Community TV. I'm Ryan Hardy, your Crestview Community TV legal analyst, and today you're watching Docket Day. Now, Docket Day, last year and in previous years, it was the biggest court date. Now we've added a court date with pretrial conference happening the week before Docket Day, so Docket Day has shrunk down and gotten somewhat smaller. However, you're still going to see defendants who maybe have been in court for the first time, maybe their appearance was waived at pretrial conference, which we spoke about in that video. But when someone's called to the podium, you're going to see, again, one of a few things can happen. They can enter a plea. At that point, the case will be over, and they'll get sentenced either today, live on Crestview Community TV, or they'll get sentenced in a sentencing hearing down the road on one of those miscellaneous dates that we'll talk about in another video. They could also ask to continue the case. At that point, it would get set to another cycle 6 weeks down the road. The last thing they could do is they could announce ready for trial. And that means, hey, we're ready, when we're going to send this case to a court date called jury review. And then from that point, the case will get sent to a jury trial. And I know that's what we all really, really love to see. Those obviously are rare. They don't happen a lot. But we all get excited when we hear that, ready for trial.
Minor, then of course 23 CF 223 would run, disorderly conduct would run concurrent. Those terms are as follows: 32 hours community service hours, $515 in court costs with a $150 cost of prosecution. This will run for 11 months and 29 days. Pending the successful completion of the PTIs. For 23 CF 1907, to be random UAs, substance abuse and evaluation, any recommended counseling, no contact with William Ersprunch, a letter of apology to Deputy James Atkins, and again, this will run concurrent with 23 CF 0223. May I approach?
Very good. Mr. Hanson, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Speaking to that mic for me. So, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. This is a little bit of a unique situation because there's a pretrial intervention agreement that's a condition of your of the agreement itself. So, essentially, based upon the terms of the plea agreement, which includes PTI, pretrial intervention, if you succeed with this, and you have the chance to have the charges would go away. But on the other hand, if you fail to complete your pretrial intervention, you're basically agreeing to the substance. You're agreeing basically to a guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you understand also as a condition that there is, importantly, the random UAs, substance abuse evaluations, etc. You understand that? Have you gone over all this? I see you've signed the, make sure. You've signed the plea agreement. Have you read through this closely?
It's all thoroughly.
And you understand that by entering into this plea agreement, you're waiving the right, you're waiving some valuable legal rights, most important of which is the right to go to a trial. Right to force the state to prove their case beyond every reasonable doubt. You're waiving that. This will be a final adjudication of this case. You understand that? You understand?
Yes,
that?
sir.
Okay. Have you had all your legal questions answered by your attorney?
Yes, sir.
And you're entering into this freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept the plea agreement and, okay. I'm unclear about the plea agreement now that I'm looking at it closely. What's the 11 months, 29 days?
That's the length of the pretrial intervention, Your Honor.
Okay. Doesn't really say that on here. That's actually a part of the pretrial intervention. Does that say that in here?
It does.
It says it in the pretrial intervention?
Well, that's the term of the pretrial intervention, Judge.
Okay. Put that in there. You got to put this clearly in there. It doesn't say, it just says 1129. It doesn't say the term of the pretrial intervention. I mean, normally we don't have time limits in it myself, but if you all agree to it, that's fine. No, that's the PTI. Those are the PTI. Has probation signed off on the PTI?
We have the agreement at the office, and he just needs to go and get instructed.
Okay.
And then they'll file it as soon as it's signed.
Okay. They'll e-file it.
Okay. These are the original documents.
Okay, so you can have these back.
Yes, sir. And then we'll take
Okay.
these back, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so you understand you've got the written terms of the pretrial intervention program. You've gone over that with your attorney, you
Yes,
understand
sir.
that? And the term of that is a little unusual, but there's actually a term of the pretrial intervention of basically 1 year, 11 months, 29 days. So you must successfully complete the PTI with the terms along with the other things in the plea and sentencing agreement. Importantly, the recommendation for substance abuse counseling. And the no contact with William, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Usbrunch, don't know what that relationship is, but it's a one-sided no contact. So even if he would try to attempt to contact you, it's your obligation to stay away from him.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Garrett.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Your Honor, Chris Garrett on behalf of Victor Cardona. The case number is 22 CF 2934. We're going to be entering a change of plea to an amended charge of misdemeanor affray. If I may approach with the plea and sentencing agreement.
You may. Thank you. Would you please announce the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. It's going to be a plea of no contest to misdemeanor affray, 11 months and 29 days of JCS probation.
Hold on a second, Mr. Medina?
That was me, Your Honor.
Okay. Somebody's hitting that mic. I'll tell you what, why don't we mute it? How about that? There we go.
It will be a enter a plea of no contest to misdemeanor affray. It will be an adjudication of guilt, 11 months and 29 days of JCS probation. Matters intervention program, 50 hours of community service. The Mr. Cardona may pay off at the statutory rate. No use or possession of controlled substances without a doctor's prescription. $270 in court costs. Continued treatment through the VA. No violent contact with victim. And there is no objection from the state to early termination of probation after 6 months if all requirements are complete.
Your Honor, that is the state's agreement.
Is this all requirements are complete and no violations?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, you need to put that in there, and you also need to identify the victim.
It's, okay.
I'm sorry. You need to put a name in there, come and ask him about it. We need to be very clear, because that would be a violation of the probation, and it would, so we have to be clear, you have to be clear who it is. The court has to as well.
Understood, sir. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Cardona, would you please raise your right hand? So, is the state in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Cardona, you heard you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement, and I see that you have signed the written plea agreement that contains those terms. First question, did you read this closely?
I did, sir.
And did you go over it in detail with your attorney and make sure you had all your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir.
Importantly, the terms of this plea agreement, you're waiving some valuable legal rights, the right to go to a trial to contest this in order to have a final resolution of this case. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that by entering into this plea agreement, this will be a final resolution of this matter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've entered into this freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea agreement, and the court will sentence you on the lesser included misdemeanor fray. And Madam Clerk, you've got the statutory cites contained in here. And the court will sentence you to 11 months, 29 days probation, BIP, 50 hours community service, and which you can pay off, continue with treatment with the VA, have no violent contact with the victim. That does allow you to have contact with the victim, but it just means there'll be basically heightened scrutiny if there's any other issues going forward. And then you can, no objection to termination if you've met all your requirements and there are no violations. You've got court cost and fees. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. What about counts 2 and 3, counsel?
No cross.
Counts 2 and 3. Yes.
You want to put that on here?
Yes, sir.
That's probably pretty important. Sorry, I didn't pick that up. Madam Clerk, I'm glad you're keeping us straight here.
Your Honor, if I may approach?
You may. So the second and third counts are null pros, they're dismissed by the state.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Dudley?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
So we'll start with, I think the last client I have on the docket is Christian Seymour,
Okay.
in 22 CF 1257, 22 CF 1312, and 22 CF 1366. If I may approach?
You may. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Would you please announce the plea,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dudley?
Mr. Seymour is going to enter a plea in 22 CF 1366 to count 1, 2, 3, and count 5. The state will dismiss 22 CF 1312, 22 CF 1257, and count 4 in 22 CF 1366. He'll be adjudicated guilty, $1,140 in court costs, time served, and then cost to be paid within 120 days.
Is the state in agreement? Yes, sir. Very good. Sir, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Dudley, is the score sheet acceptable to the defense?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. So, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement, and I see those same terms are contained in the written plea agreement, which I'm checking here to see if you signed, which you've signed. First question, did you read this closely?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that by entering into this plea agreement, you're waiving some valuable legal rights, right to contest this in an open trial, etc. This will be a final adjudication of your case.
Yes, sir.
You believe this is in your best interest to enter into this plea agreement here today.
Yes, sir.
And you have had all your legal questions answered by your attorney.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea agreement. The state has announced, or as a part of this, will dismiss 22 CF 1312, 22 CF 1257, and count 4 of 12 CF 1366. So the remaining counts, which are 1, 2, 3, and 5 of 22 CF 1366, and you will have an adjudication of guilt on all these charges. There'll be $1,140 court cost. You will get credit for time served, and that'll be the completion of your sentence. Cost to be paid within 120 days, or it goes to collections.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next one I have is Crystal Anders Kennedy
Okay.
in 22 CF 2528. Your Honor, I'm asking for continuance on this one. We are waiting on a certified conviction from Michigan. I believe this will be a plea. It's just whether it be plea to a felony or misdemeanor, so we can get a continuance.
Okay. You want to just go to the next?
Next pretrial, Your Honor,
Okay. When's our next pretrial? Sorry.
December, I believe. December.
Kennedy,
Yeah, Anders, it's under Anders.
Andis Kennedy. Okay, so we'll continue this matter until December 3rd. Is he out of custody? Is she
Yes,
out of
she's-
custody?
yes, sir. She
Out of
is.
custody? Okay, so December 11th.
Yes, sir. The next one I have, Your Honor, is Marcus Brantley in 21 CF 2641. I do have a written plea agreement to a misdemeanor, if I may approach.
You may. Okay, thank you very much.
It has been signed by all parties, and Mr. Brantley has already checked in with probation.
Very good.
And it'll be supervised by by Judicial Correction Services. So.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. The next case I have is Carrie Floyd in 23 CF 378 and 23 CF 380. Your Honor, I asked for a continuance on this one. She's out of state. We're still trying to negotiate with the state and see if we can get this one in next cycle. I'm hoping to have it done before the December date. But
Okay. If you do, you can try and get it on
Yes,
one
sir.
of this ways. The state in agreement
Yes,
with
sure.
the continuance. Very good.
That's
The court will continue this matter until 12/11 as well.
Your Honor, next one I have is Siobhan Coward in 22 CF 2730. I have been talking with the state about it. They're going to review some of the videos since we finished depositions. I asked for a continuance to the next pretrial.
Will this be the last continuance?
I hope so, Your Honor.
I think that's.
I think so.
I think it can be announced as the last one.
Court will announce last continuance.
Yes, sir.
Because it's over, almost be a year old by
Yes, sir.
then. It's a simple possession case.
Your Honor, I believe the last one I have is John Elmore in 22 CF 2580. The state and I can approach.
You may.
Your Honor, Mr. Elmore's case, we asked for a continuance. We're still in the process of doing depositions.
Okay. So we'll continue that as well till 12/11.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Doug.
So Mr. Ramey is next. Do we have the other, I know we have several lawyers for Mr. Miles. Why don't we try and...
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Hold on just a second.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ramey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Russ Ramey on behalf of Anthony Miles, Your Honor, in 173441. Been coordinating discovery with the state, and we have received 3 depositions. There are approximately 43 witnesses total. We've been able to have the court reporter identify that there are some depositions that haven't been transcribed. He's in the process of giving me those names so we can get those transcribed. We've gone over approximately 25,000 pages of discovery at this point. In speaking with Ms. Bossar, we've been able to agree on a January 31st deposition date to clean up any depositions that still need to be done once we find out who we have, who we don't have. And we've tentatively agreed on a March 4th trial week if that would suit Your Honor's position as well.
That is accurate. That is accurate, Your Honor, and the state is also willing to move up that deposition date if Mr. Ramey's schedule does free itself up. We'll make some time if there's anyone else that needs to be deposed. And just for the record, there were many witnesses that were actually formally removed from the witness list that were originally because they did not have any information based on all the parties' discussions that was relevant to the case. So it's not 43, but there are still some out there that Mr. Ramey may wish to review.
And how long do you anticipate this trial to take?
No more than 2 days, Your Honor.
I concur. And I've coordinated those dates with Mr. Cobb, and those dates do work with Mr. Cobb as well.
I don't have my calendar with me because we don't have access to it right now because of our system is down. So I have to go back and look at it. So I'm not guaranteed the March 4th, but I mean, you're far enough out where I don't think we should have a problem with it. But
Yes, sir.
when we have this later time, don't say, well, Judge, we told you. It's set. It's not technically set at this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. So we'll just continue this. I would like to take it up on the next cycle in order to make sure we're still on track. So we'll come back on 12/13.
And that would be the state's request as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
So just, you going to make that with all the cases, or?
Well, I mean, we do want, why don't we go ahead and put on the record, Mr. Cobb, why don't you announce your case and
Yes.
what you, I know you're probably just tracking the Mr. Ramey's case principally, but maybe not. Go ahead. Why don't you speak into that mic for me?
Yes, sir. Jason Cobb on behalf of Mr. Miles, and I believe it's 2021 CF 1307. We, like I told the court last time we were here, Mr. Gillespie provided me a couple weeks ago a proffer that's about 3 hours long of a new witness. I'm still looking at that. I had the same issue that Mr. Ramey had with regards to the discovery. All the discovery that Mr. Ramey received in his case, I received in my case as well, which a lot of it overlaps. And we have done extensive reviews of the discovery, and I did take depositions. So we are progressing. It's just this case, this 2017 case, sort of is the premier elephant in the room of all these cases. And it's hard to dispose and come to an agreement on my case with this case still outstanding that's 3 years older than my case, and the state wants to try that. But I've talked to Mr. Gillespie, and he's agreed with the March trial date as well. So I don't know if we can do both trials at the same time, but that's how he wants it to track as well.
Your Honor, I'm here for Mr. Gillespie, and I know they've been progressing. They had a whole day of depositions, and they've been working with each other. I believe there's possibly even an offer that is being discussed. But Mr. Cobb is accurate in saying, I believe the human trafficking case will go first, and the RICO case could follow hypothetically in the same trial week. They would not be tried together, though. But I believe Mr.
How long do
Gillespie's-
you anticipate your case to take, Mr. Cobb?
Judge, I don't have an answer to that yet because Mr. Gillespie and I are still trying to narrow down the actual discovery and the actual witnesses that will be called in the RICO case. And we're doing that through discovery and through additional discussions. I don't know. There's a ton of witnesses and a ton of discovery, so it could take more than
So
one.
we're still there. That's a little bit more in flux.
Yes, sir.
Main thing is we've got one trial that we're aiming at. Obviously, that's a very significant trial, and the main thing is we've got that one that we've got our eyes on, and we're moving that forward. And that's what I'd like to make sure and keep that on track. Seems that that's the state's desire to try that first. So we want to make sure and keep that. If we can go on March 4th that week for your case, that's fine, but that's not as critical as getting, the principal case up, in my view. So anyway, so we'll continue. I mean, for today, we'll continue, hopefully, with some of the recent activity and the exchange, et cetera, that by the time we come back in December 13th for the next pretrial, we'll have a much better idea of exactly where we're at with discovery, what needs to be done, and we'll still have a little bit of time. But let me tell you, when we come back, unless there's something brand new and everything, and there isn't some stuff that's done, y'all are going to be expected to get it done in those next couple months. So don't come back to me and say, well, I don't have any time for the next 3 months or 2 months. We're gonna have to get this done. This is a long overdue, and it's time for this case to go. He has a right to it, and the state has a right to it.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Owens,
Judge,
I didn't mean to get out front on that, but
I'm James Owens on behalf of Tony Henderson, who represents Anthony Miles in 2019 CF 3289. We agreed to continue the case to the next court date of December 13th.
okay. Very good. So we'll continue, obviously, the same case and the same thing. You have totally different information, so it seems to me, based on the charge. So we'll come back on the 13th of December. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day.
Even though that last case was consolidated. No, we're not updating it.
Mr. Dees.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
One case on your docket is James Richard Emmons, 23 CF 340. We've reached an agreement in Mr. Emmons' case, reduced it to right. The agreement is that he is originally charged with driving while license suspended at habitual traffic
Talk to
offender.
that mic for me.
He's originally charged with driving while license suspended, being a habitual traffic offender. The agreement with the state is he'll plead to the lesser included offense of no valid driver's license. May I approach, Judge?
You may. Thank you.
Your Honor, the terms on there is just an adjudication, a $300 fine. He's asking for 30 days to make that payment.
Can you give me a statute cite for the lesser included for the clerk's benefit?
Yeah, sure.
While you're looking for that, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have a charge of, lesser included charge of no valid driver's license. There'll be an adjudication of guilt. You understand that by entering into this plea agreement, which you have, make sure you've signed here, that you've signed, that this is a final resolution of this matter. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you have had all your legal questions answered as it relates to this, the effect that it has, the adjudication of guilt, et cetera.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea. Do we have a statutory cite for the clerk?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm having internet problems.
Okay, just make sure that the clerk gets that.
Yes, sir.
So the lesser included offense of no valid driver's license, there'll be an adjudication of guilt. You have to pay $300 in court costs within 30 days. Okay?
Your Honor, I believe it's going to be 322.03.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.